Hi, I would like to share with you how to use the 7 teaching areas under the teaching process lesson preparation to plan a science lesson. Let's look at the first teaching area, determining lesson objective. Now, this is a lesson on plant system. Students are required to observe plant parts, which is an important process skill they need to develop. They are to state the different parts that make a plant system and their functions of the plant parts. These are the concepts for knowledge and understanding. Next, it is important for the student to know how to care for the plants. Lastly, I would like to give the students the opportunity to work with one another, as collaboration and thinking skills are important 21cc competency. To enhance learning, it is important to consider learners' profile. This group of P4 students, they are the high progress learners. They learn effectively when they are sufficiently challenged. So I have planned some higher order thinking questions for them. Now, students also learn best in a safe learning environment. Thus, I use cooperating learning strategies to get the children to work with one another before I actually invite them to answer the questions. Now, I like to use cooperating learning strategies because it maximizes participation. Now, I will get the children to explore the garden to learn the different parts of the plants. This is considered an active and joyful learning which work best from the primary school learners. Next, selecting and sequencing content. It means to chunk the knowledge into different parts to facilitate students' learning. Now, I use 5E inquiry framework to sequence the content I want the students to learn. At the engage phase, I would ask 2 important questions to trigger their prior knowledge. Now, these prior knowledge are important for the students to make connections to what they are going to learn in the lesson. Now, at the explore and explain phase, the learning content is scaffolded with questions and strategies to achieve the intended learning outcomes. Now, planning key questions is very important. Now, asking questions help to facilitate the understanding of science concepts, check students' understanding, and also develop students' thinking. Now, it is difficult to ask good questions on the spot, so it is important that we actually plan our lessons before the lesson to achieve the learning outcomes that we want. Now, I always type the questions on the PowerPoint before the lesson. I prefer to use 2 types of questions. Okay, one group is the productive questions. Now, there are 7 types of productive questions. They are the attention focusing, measuring and counting, comparison, action questions, problem posing, reasoning, and also meta connective questions. Now, these questions are meant to ask for different purposes. Now, I would also like to use higher order thinking questions from the Bloom taxonomy. So I actually ask analyzing and evaluating questions in the lesson. Sequencing learning is an important action area too, because the order and organization of a lesson affects the way students learn. So I like to order my questions. It helps to sequence the learning. Now, in my lesson, I also like to I actually use a song after the explore and the explain phrase. Now, I want them to learn the concept through exploration. So as a result, I use a song after they have explored in the garden. Now, if I use it at the engage phrase, which is right at the beginning of our lesson, it will actually kill the joy of learning or kill the joy of exploring, as the song actually teaches them all the different parts of the plant systems and also the functions of the plant parts. Now, as I've mentioned earlier, now these are the strategies I use, to enhance students' engagement, to develop deeper understanding of the concept. So for the instructional strategies, I use the 5E inquiry framework, the cooperating learning strategies. I use think pair share quite often, and also group work. questionings, and also strategies for assessment for learning. So in this case, I actually use the exit pass. Lastly, deciding on teaching aids and learning resources. Now there are many online resources we can use. So I actually found some online pictures for me to ask higher order thinking questions. I also found a song from the YouTube for learners who are musical learners, or musically inclined. Now I also use concept mapping tool for the visual learners, okay, to summarize what they have learned about the plant parts and the functions. Now next video I'm going to show you how I use these 7 teaching areas to design a lesson on plant system.